If children have emotional and behavioural difficulties, that will impact on their learning. And if children have learning difficulties, that will sometimes impact on their emotional behavioural development.
Life's hard. Life's hard and can be quite difficult, and that can translate into children having, low views of themselves, low self-belief.
We've travelled across the country to visit 5 areas where schools are working in innovative and interesting ways to raise attainment and are succeeding in bridging the gap. "30 miles north of London, Luton is a town struggling to overcome an age-old image crisis. With pockets of significant deprivation, educational attainment has been well below the national average.
Luton sort of got quite a moving population, a lot of people moving in, people moving on and out. Also sort of quite a reasonably high turnover in schools as a consequence of that. Quite a high level of social problems in Luton.
It's recognised as an area with relatively high levels of deprivation. I think there are relatively high levels of unemployment, relatively high levels of single-parent families, and the economic deprivation that can result just having one parent unable to go out to work.
Here at Ramridge Primary School, head teacher Hilary Goddard and her team are working hard to try and turn this around. They're implementing a range of approaches to help raise standards in an area with historic low achievement and low aspirations.
I feel certainly in our community there isn't a great deal of celebration of themselves. We're very quick to criticise ourselves or each other. We're very quick to find fault, which is sad. We try to counter that.
In this episode of Bridging the Gap, we're going to look at how Ramridge Primary and Denby Juniors have created support mechanisms to help their students become winners.
With the schools, there's a fairly high percentage of children with sort of some social communication needs or emotional behavioural needs. If children have emotional and behavioural difficulties, that will impact on their learning. And if children have learning difficulties, that will sometimes impact on their emotional behavioural development.
30% of our children have experienced some social difficulties, some real challenges in their lives that have made it more difficult for them to focus on their education, to focus on their learning.
Ramridge Primary has put into place a number of support mechanisms to help their pupils' emotional well-being. School counsellor Isabel Sterling offers a sympathetic ear to both students and teachers' problems.
In this room things are processed, issues, worries are processed. It's sort of like giving a hand to get over a rocky bit on the road. And that's really accepted here, that's fine. It's accepted that that's part of the human condition. So if it's your turn to need a hand, that's fine. The ethos of this school is a very caring one. Things are really thought about, and it works. It's part of the support system here.
Because the problem Mrs. Etche had this morning was, while she's telling everyone what she wants to do for the lesson, you two weren't there.
Another part of the support system is the Sky class run by behaviour support assistant Vicky St John. One afternoon a week she runs a class for a group of pupils at risk of being excluded. This helps them cope with difficult feelings.
So if Liam has called you names and you've asked him to stop, which you obviously did, yeah? Rather than go up to him and push him, what's the next thing you needed to do?
Tell teacher.
Go and get some adult help. They've all been identified as needing extra help to access the curriculum, really. Do you not feel better when you smile?
I feel better when I'm angry. This is my...
How many times have you been angry and I've smiled at you and you started smiling and you feel better? They have behaviour needs, they don't cope well, they don't believe in themselves basically, their self-esteem is quite low. and we work with them to try and build them up. They're all very capable, but they don't think they are, and there's lots of issues behind that. There could be circumstances outside of school as well.
Okay. The routines and structures in Sky Class give Kate an opportunity to play a game with another child. Does that happen?
The behaviour support team meet once a week with staff to discuss the children. The scale of the support package is felt to have had a real impact on improvements for children at the school.
The children here, behaviour has improved no end, exclusions have gone right down, attendance has gone right up, and the reason is that the children feel safe and secure in the school, and the reason they feel like that is because they all have someone to talk to. It's all about safety, security, a safe place for the children to be at, which is why our attendance improved and why behaviour's improved as well.
Along with the behaviour support team, the staff work closely with family workers and multi-agency support from Luton Borough Council.
The multi-agency working is very often effective for complex casework, and it's very rare for me to go to a multi-agency meeting and feel that it hasn't been beneficial probably to all the parties concerned and led for everybody to a better understanding of the child.
3 miles down the road, Denby Junior School is also a keen adopter of multi-agency working. Syra Chowdhury is a family worker at the school and provides a vital link with the NHS.
Syra is a family worker, and she was recruited as part of a project called On Track, which was about 6 to 7 years ago a Home Office funded project broadly looking at preventing crime. She was recruited as part of a strategy to increase the link between home and school. Because that is found to be one of the biggest factors in developing a positive environment for children to learn in.
Syra discusses casework at Denby Juniors with Mark every fortnight.
Great. It's about a month since we've last talked about Amir, and I thought it would be quite good to catch up and see how he's doing at school at the moment.
We spoke about him, because of the dyspraxia, having quite an egotistic way of looking at situations that had arisen. And from understanding that, we know that he doesn't actually see things the way other children may see him.
I think if a child or young person doesn't have a positive experience in school, as well as isn't able to develop both educationally and emotionally, and then they don't have satisfying prospects, there isn't hope for them in their future as an adult to grow up to have a satisfying life, really.
As a family worker, Syra works with children and families to help them with emotional difficulties as well as a range of social issues. Syra has seen some real results.
There's an improvement in attendance, health a lot of the times, with their attainment and how they are academically, more confident, and their ability in their work, they're actually more focused in their work.
Life's hard and can be quite difficult, and that can translate into children having low views of themselves, low self-belief. So giving them lots of opportunities to achieve and succeed is our way of saying, yeah, you can do this.
Good morning, everybody.
Engaging with what makes the children happy is seen by Ramridge as the key to closing the attainment gap. Every week they look forward to this special assembly.
Golden Time is the backbone of our behaviour policy. It was created by Jenny Mosley, and we've sort of taken it on Ramridge style. You were totally focused on all the races, everybody competing. You were totally unified in that Ramridge are the best, which was lots and lots of children get rewarded. We don't have a limit on the number of children, so you'll actually end up with more children standing than sitting. But the golden rules are really hard to achieve. Basically, if you achieve the golden rules over the week, which is about being gentle, being honest, working hard. It's all positive rules. It's not about don't. It's about do this, do this. That's basically your model child that you're talking about. So those children have worked really, really hard to do it.
Good behaviour is rewarded with time off from lessons to pursue favourite activities. Positive measures introduced by Hilary were designed to combat the tide of negativity she felt when she first arrived at the school.
Certainly at the start it was a very challenging environment and many of the behaviours were really quite extreme.
The playground was one of the areas where she felt the children's behaviour could be addressed.
The playgrounds were quite barren. There wasn't the artwork, there weren't the markings, there wasn't the equipment. So the children were out on the playgrounds without real direction, without play leaders, bringing lots of concerns they had, anxieties they had into the school community and sensing that there wasn't clear direction for them from the adult.
Now children are provided with structured playtime activities. Ramridge Primary is visited by students from the local university who act as mentors for the pupils.
Each year we use Luton University students who have been trained as mentors, and their focus is not for children to unburden themselves but really to raise self-esteem.
University of Bedfordshire student Kieran O'Brien comes to visit Maverick once a week.
So it's someone that will come once a week, dedicate all of their time to that child, listen to their problems, give them advice. If they're having some difficulties with a particular subject, we can give that support. It can be quite hard if he's feeling frustrated or upset at school. It can be quite hard to control his temper, to calm down.
He told me that a way to deal with your feelings if you're feeling angry, just count to 10 and walk away. And that's helped me quite a lot because I was feeling angry with someone and I remembered what he said and then I just walked away and about 10 minutes later I was calm.
So how do you feel about going to high school now?
Good.
Yeah.
I'm not that nervous now anyway.
When I first started to see Maverick, he did have low confidence and that was maybe being a slight disadvantage to some aspects of his study. But over that time I've helped him to build up his confidence. I'm going to write my favourite 3 things we've done together. Yeah. And then we'll compare them.
Even though my mum says work hard and things like that, Kieran believes in me as well, so that pushes me a little bit more. And then at the end we can write, we have fun.
Yeah.
And I feel proud of myself because I've done well and I know they're happy with me.
Raising attainment is about every single thing we do in the school. We're setting children up to succeed, whatever their starting point. And the starting point for some children is very, very low. But we celebrate each small step. It's about value and respect for everybody, and it's about making the young people as happy as possible, because by doing that, you're giving them the space to succeed. Happy children are learning children.